Hello and welcome to Starkies View, episode 1, the brand new show from Bury Football Club, where we've got guests from across the Shakers family, from players, staff and volunteers and fans to talk about all things Bury FC. My name's Johnny, I'm here with Adam and we're excited to welcome our very first guest for the season, fan favourite, Peet. Gaz, welcome to the show, how are you doing?
Yeah, thank you, all good, just had a training session, so yeah, ready for Saturday.
How was the pitch?
Yeah, moves a lot different to last year, obviously, so it's just something I think we'll all have to get used to, but it's really, really nice, isn't it? It's not going to...
It looks lovely, looking at it from...
Yeah, really nice.
Right, well, we'll crack straight. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, I did just want to say, episode 1 of this show, we had some sad news this week, so I do want to just dedicate this first episode to Anne Bent, who sadly lost a battle with cancer last week. Anne was a Shaker through and through, and she loved the team, and she was a driving force in the foundation of Bury AFC. Her energy and commitment shown to our club would be hard to match, and it's clear to see from the outpouring of messages from players, staff, former players, fans, and the wider football community that should be sorely missed. So, on to footballing matters. First things first, we'll speak about the last two outings, starting with Squires Gate and the 4-4 draw. Adam, what were your thoughts on that one?
Well, I think all three of us sat around this table probably didn't expect a 4-4 draw on the opening game of the season. I think it was obviously a very new team, a lot of sort of league debutants for Dave McNabb and the squad, and I think going in at sort of 3-1 at half time, it was quite a comfortable lead, and obviously Squires Gate seemed to come out in the second half and offer something different than they did in the first, and sort of seemed to nip it into little areas, and ultimately it finished at 4-4.
Yeah, I think the just that goal after half time just took the wind out of the sails a little bit, I think, and it let them back in. But on to the next point there.
Yeah, and I think obviously, as is at this level, Gaz, games that come thick and fast. It was obviously moved to Padiham on Tuesday. You were there. You weren't involved in the squad, but what did you make of it?
I thought that was as good as you could probably get it away at Padiham. I think it's a tough place to go. It's a good thing we've got them early on in the season, because I know what that pitch is like and it can be like. So, yeah, I mean, some of the football we played, especially attacking, was unbelievable. I don't think they had many shots. So Saturday you can, the problem is with this league is I've been around this league sort of a few years and stuff, and it can be brutal at times, and teams want to beat Bury every week. So that once that one goal goes in and then the second, third, it's, you start doubting it sometimes and things like that. But I mean, that was obviously chalk and cheese to Tuesday. It was a great performance. I think as good as I've seen of a Bury side I've been in part of. It
was phenomenal. Just some of the goals that the lads scored, making you itching to get back out there. Yeah,
obviously it's been a bit stop-start, so it's I've obviously been away a little bit through pre-season, and the squad that we built is unbelievable. So I can't wait to get back on the pitch, chomping at it. So it's going to be even better for me when I get back in that side. Yeah,
fantastic. We'll look forward to it, as will many of the fans as well. So we're off to Congleton this weekend, which is a big test against a side that we know from previous meetings. They did really well last year, and they've had a couple of good cup runs of late. Gaz, do you think we'll see a similar team out there to the games at Padiham, Squires Gate, or do you think Dave will mix it up in the cup?
Good question. I mean, the thing is that we've got lads in. I mean, we've got so much strength in depth. I don't think it necessarily matters who he brings in. I think we've got sort of another 7 or 8 who we could probably swap, and it wouldn't sort of change how strong we are as a team. So I've got a feeling he will change it a little bit, just to give lads who haven't played a game. But I think we'll be strong. But Congleton are a good side. Played against Congleton a few times, especially at their place. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a good crowd, and yeah, it'll be a good atmosphere, I think.
Looking forward to it, and they've certainly been hamming it up online is what I'll say.
You know what, that they've done well on Twitter. I've seen it. Yeah,
they've caught a few Bury fans on that line.
And I mean, I think coming off the back of obviously previous meetings, as you mentioned, Johnny, there seems to be that, I don't know, the sort of the social media hype, and there seems to be that sort of mini rivalry as such. As a player, Gaz, were you sort of revel in that at the weekend?
Yeah, it just makes for a better game. I mean, the FA Cup always it seems to bring up better atmospheres, in my opinion. I don't know what it is. It's just everybody gets behind it. They know it's a one-off game and stuff. So, yeah, the mini rivalries do help. I think.
I mean, especially with Bury fans, because it's a competition. They're going to the FA Cup. It's a competition that we're familiar with from back in the league days. So I think they can sort of get into it a little bit more. Definitely. But another good point, going back to CONLON this year, no Tom Pope to deal with this year. So I think we're all happy about that.
And I think just sort of following on from that, obviously the FA Cup, the FA Vars are competitions that the players at this level look at in detail. Obviously you can get a good cup run in the FA Vars, you can end up at Wembley. How much will the players be looking at that, or is it all on that league title?
I think the Vars is, I mean, obviously we want to get promoted, but the Vars is as good as sort of you can get for this level of football. Obviously with playing at Wembley and stuff, we was bitterly disappointed, well I was anyway, last year about getting knocked out in that first game. With the squad that we've got, we should be at least progressing to the latter stages, in my opinion, and I hope we do, because I know that Bury will obviously get behind us, the fans and stuff. If we can get fair in this competition, I mean, I'd like to see, how many fans we can get down and watching us. It's some competition.
I definitely wouldn't mind getting in the press box at Wembley.
Oh,
That'd be an experience, wouldn't it? Yeah. So we're going to move on now. More about Gaz Peet. So once again, Gaz, thanks for coming on.
You've had a busy summer, as you mentioned before. You talked about missing bits of. Pre-season. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so I started off pre-season alright. I had a couple of weeks in, and then it was always my plan for about 12 months when England obviously got to the Euros and stuff like that. So took my little boy down for the last group game, went for 4 days, came back, and then when they got to the quarterfinals, I had a bit of an open ticket. Depending on how far they get, little did I know that they get to the final. I ended up staying for nine days, which unfortunately ruined quite a lot of pre-season. I think I missed about 3 or 4 games, so it doesn't help in any way, and I understand that. And Mac has obviously got a team to pick based on what he's seen pre-season, so yeah, I loved it. I wouldn't change it, but obviously now it's time.
Good job you posted about it online, because there'd have been loads of speculation.
Well, once in a lifetime though, especially for your lad as well.
Well, that's it, and that's what I'm looking at now. And obviously we've got, I think, 60 other games left, so I'm sure I'll be part of some form of it this season.
So whilst you're away and enjoying England, getting to the final, we're headed over to Atherton Coles, obviously a team that you know very well, and it was great to see just how revered Gaz Peet is at Atherton Coles, not just as a player, but everybody we spoke to there had nothing but nice things to say about Gaz Peet. And I did notice on the wall that there's a mural in the clubhouse, and it's we're just a team of 11 Gaz Peets, which I thought was fantastic. I want one on my living room wall. But you seem to be fostering that same kind of rapport with Shakers fans. Do you believe that those connections are important at this level?
I mean, I think you've seen it with the way I've tried to be. I'm no different to what I was at Coles to what I was here. It's obviously a bigger scale, as you well know. It's a massive part of it, because the one thing that you can do at this level is you can get sort of a little bit closer with the fans, in terms of like you can shake their hands after a game and you can take pictures with them, and you don't really get that the higher you go up. And I love that side of things, because it seems that you can get young kids screaming your name, and you can get obviously people coming over just for an autograph and stuff. And I mean, for somebody like, well, for us, we've got to work every single day, but somebody wants your autograph, it's quite nice and that. And I think it just brings the community or the club together, I suppose, in my opinion anyway. Yeah.
Excellent. I mean, Dave's rebuilt the squad, as we've touched on from last season, with only a handful of players still around, including yourself. A lot of the players that have come in are linked in one way or another from other clubs that they've been at. Does familiarity help in the squad with that many new faces coming in?
Yeah, it's always tough. I think, obviously, I think everybody was surprised about how many people went to the end of last season, including me. I didn't think there would be as many going. Obviously people want to play higher, and I get that. It's the lads who have come in though. Again, I could probably go through sort of 10, 11 who've come in and I've played against them at some point for different teams and things like that, and it does help because you're saying hiya to lads who you probably never spoke to ever, but you've just played against, so it does help. But as soon as you play sort of 2 and 3 games, you know, that coming together within the group does help.
It does seem like there's a bit of camaraderie already, and you can see it.
There's a lot of lads who've played at this level for years or played at non-league level, and they know what it's about. It's a bit, like I say, it's a bit different to being a bit higher up. You need that togetherness, because when you're working every day and you're coming to a dressing room, it's different. It's not like it's your job. It's a bit more of it's your hobby, but you have to enjoy it, because if you don't enjoy it, you'll see that on the pitch. And when you've got a good dressing room, it goes a long way to getting more points come the end of the season.
And around the new signings, are there any of them? Have you played with any of the lads before?
You know what? I don't think that I have. Obviously, other than the lads from last year, I don't think I have. But I've played against like Macaulay for Bamber Bridge when I was at Coles. I've played against Brad when he was at Lancaster, things like that. I think I've played against Tom at some point when he was keeper at Radcliffe, things. Yeah, so I've played against a few of them, never with them. But yeah.
I think
hopefully that's to come.
Well, like I say, it's obviously non-league's quite a small world in that aspect. I suppose it's a bit of an interesting question, but do you prefer sort of to have a sort of regular change of players over the different clubs that you play with? Obviously, I know you've at Coles, you tend sort of in that period that you were there, you had relatively the same squad in terms of when you were progressing up the leagues, likes of Dan Lafferty, etc., and Danny Tabner. Yeah. What do you make to that? Do you sort of rather have that sort of group that you know inside out, or do you like the challenge?
You can look at it both ways. I think obviously when you're at Coles, it's a smaller scale, so you have to have lads who are sort of coming in and playing for a group where you've only got 16 lads. Probably you can't really go any higher than that. Lads don't tend to stick around when it's Coles unless they're playing or they're involved and things like that, whereas at Bury you've got lads who are maybe not in the squad who are wanting to just play at Bury and trying to fight to get in the team and stuff like that. So you can look at it both ways. I've had it different ways throughout and things like that. Obviously, I love my time at Coles. Sort of with the lads who I met, a lot of them are still my best mates now and things like that. But then I'm looking at lads who I sort of played with last year, like like Tom, Skaz, Benny, people like that. You can look at, go on, and I'm still talking to them now. So. Yeah, there's not. I don't think there's one or the other. You can. You need a tight changing room definitely to get you more points, but that comes in different ways. It doesn't necessarily mean that you need a smaller squad always.
Benny loves everyone. I got a text off him the other night wishing us luck for the season. Yeah,
I think it's one of them though. I think if you build up those relationships in terms of those different squads that you've played in, to sort of name a former player, Harry Brazell, I was talking to him a couple of weeks ago, and he's still sort of obviously at Whitton now, and obviously he's got a good relationship with the group there, but he still talks to various different players.
He's your barber, isn't he?
Yeah, no, he
is, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. He's a good lad. And obviously he has those relationships, but that obviously works for sort of, you can go and talk about your sort of, I suppose, relevant club and reminisce about those times that I assume you do with the guys that you played with at Cole back in the day.
Exactly that. Yeah, exactly that. I had some of, won quite a lot with Coles, and it's when you're doing it with sort of your best mates, it makes a massive difference. It probably comes hand in hand, like I say. It's probably no coincidence that I'm doing that with lads who sort of I care about and stuff. So you can build that wherever you go, and I think as long as we keep sticking together and things, you'll probably see that on the pitch very, very soon. You probably, like I said before, you've seen it a little bit now, but you need a bit more time to embed that togetherness. And even if it's just like the odd nights out, or if it's just going doing something, having a meal and stuff, you can do whatever. It just brings lads together and stuff, especially at this level.
Yeah. Who's going to be the Peet roommate in the Isle of Man?
Good question.
Who does Gaz not want in Alabama?
I don't know. Maybe I'll have a room on my own, we'll see. I don't have a clue, but yeah, I'm sure I'll find some unlucky lad who could...
Who did you share with last year?
Don't bring that. You're not bringing Alaman staying over last year up.
Oh,
No. We didn't get there, did we? We didn't stay over. We turned back, right? I thought he was joking. That was a sore point with me, that. I can't believe it. But yeah, no.
Me and Steve went on the Friday and came home on the Saturday night.
Did you?
We didn't even see the game.
Did you not? No. I think a few people did that. They had ferries home at night.
I had to pick up the pieces.
Did you? Yeah. Oh, well, no. Hopefully I get to stay over this time.
Who would you have stayed with, if you can remember?
I was with Jordan last time, Jordan Butterworth. Yeah. So...
Still got the answer to the question, regardless.
Probably looking for him, yeah.
It's back onto this season. Obviously, through pre-season, we've seen some great performances, and through the opening 2 games as well. So, obviously, apart from Gaz, Peet, who do you think the Shakers are going to enjoy watching this season?
Oh, take your pick. I think because of what I've seen with how good we are going forward attacking, that's not taking anything away from the defence, but we look so fluid with movement, and I mean we scored 9 in 2 games. Take your pick, anybody across that front line. I think you're going to see goals probably every week, and I think some of the goals that you're going to see probably similar to Paddy and are going to be very, very good. I think you'll like probably every single one of them.
Excellent.
I mean, from a defensive perspective, obviously you've got a player like Effie Ambrose in and amongst it, I guess. Obviously, you've got a lot of experience at this level, and then for someone to come in like him, what was the initial reaction when you sort of heard that he was joining the group?
Yeah, my experience is a little bit different to his, definitely, but he's a great fella. I spoke to him a little bit. It's funny because you don't really see him in that way. He just comes across as just a nice fella, which is really, really good, and then he's obviously a very, very good player as well. The defence, we've signed a lot of new lads. The difficulty that obviously Macca had was he's basically changed his full defence, sort of give or take me staying in as well. So it's when you're changing your back four, it's always tough. So I wouldn't get too hung up with Saturday. We'll probably still have moments like that, but it's going to be, I think, ironed out as the season goes on, and I think we'll score more than we'll concede, and I think it'll come together.
We'll come back to that clip at the end of the season.
Yeah, you can. Over to it, that's fine.
And just sort of on the season itself, sort of a 2-part question. Obviously, the fans are obviously excited to get back here to Gig Lane to see another title race, and secondly, what are your personal aims over the season?
I don't normally have too many for myself. I think when you're playing for Bury, especially last season, I felt one of the reasons I stayed at Bury is because I want to win the league here. So that was one of the aims. Obviously, the fans is the next, and then obviously you keep going on and on. So personally, I just want to win the league. I want to play obviously every week, no doubt about it. I'm not here to obviously not do that, but again, we've got competition everywhere, so I have to play well first and foremost, and then we take it from there. I'm just hoping we have a good run in the Vars, and then we win that league, more important, in front of this crowd.
Excellent, nice one, guys. Right, we're moving on. Take the tone down a little bit now. So we're going to move on to the this or that game. The premise is simple: 10 quick-fire questions on a variety of topics, including football, and you've just got to pick one or the other. Are you ready?
I'm intrigued by your answers to that.
Some of these questions are a bit random. I've got to take your first answer. So I'll go. Number 1, winning by a large margin or a dramatic last-minute winner?
Last-minute winner.
Read a book or watch a film?
Watch a film.
Messi or Ronaldo?
Messi.
Burger King or McDonald's?
Neither.
Penalties or extra time?
Penalties.
DC or Marvel?
Marvel.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Proper English. Grass or an artificial surface?
Artificial surface.
You didn't have to say that just because we've got one, guys.
I'll still take that.
Shirt tucked in or out?
Out.
Out. And the final one, which was the better goal? Gaza versus Scotland in 96 or Beckham versus Greece in 2001?
Gaza.
Gaza.
Scotland.
Excellent. Fantastic.
Easier than what I thought that.
Well, I think
I was expecting was
some good questions in there, and I think it'll be interesting to get a chart of the players that we and the guests that we get through to see how many compare. You've set the bar now for that and see where we get. Before we move on to the next segment, guys, in terms of the fans, obviously, you've got that good relationship with them. Obviously, it's going to be a busy and long season ahead in terms of competitive action. What's your message to them?
I mean, I don't think I think I said it towards the end of the season. I don't think I need to give them too much of a message. They travel in numbers. They follow us at home all the time. You know, it's the backing. I mean, you can't say enough. Like I said before, it's one of the main reasons why I wanted to stay here, because of the fans. Just keep staying behind, sort of sticking with us, staying behind us, and just make sure that obviously when come the end of the season you alternate when we're lifting that trophy and we can all have a good time and a party.
Definitely. Right, we're down on the pitch for the next bit. The new pitch here at Gig Lane with a quick game with Gaz. Aim of the game's simple. You've just got to score. Have 3 chances from the edge of the D. First touch, 2 touch, and then on the volley, and there's a point for each that finds the back of the net. Bonus points can be awarded and given for flair at the judge's discretion.
Perfect. We'll have that.
So the judge tells me, Gaz, that you got a total of 4 points, and as you're the first, you're at the top.
I'll take it. Shooting's not my
Top of the league.
Yeah.
There were some questionable deliveries.
Best shooting was questionable on the last one.
We had to bring you the
You cut them all
ringer
out.
for that last one. But you got a bonus point for the volley because it did ping right in off the bar.
There we are.
Well, that wraps it up for this debut episode of Starkies View. A massive thanks to our guest Gaz Peet
Thanks for having me on.
for coming on the show. We can't wait to see you and the lads just kicking it on up the counties and just keep winning, really. We love it.
That's it. Thank you very much.
Definitely.
Appreciate it.
The next episode will be out in the next couple of weeks, and the guest on that one will be the manager Dave McNabb and his assistant Tim Lees. And you can send in your questions for the management. You can do that by any of the club's social media channels or email in media@berriofc.co.uk.
Excellent. Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.